How are you doing, folks? Welcome to another video. Last summer, my brother and I took a trip back to our hometown of Glossop in the Peak District, and whilst we were there, we decided to join our Aunty Kathleen for a walk to mile across from Marple Bridge. Kathleen has run a local walking group for nearly 30 years, but she's been hiking for a lot longer than that. If you take a quick look through our family album, you'll see plenty of pictures of my two brothers and I on various hikes during the 70s and 80s. But if you go even further back, you can see that hiking's been in the blood for generations. It's quite easy to forget that hiking hasn't always been possible in the peaks. The famous Kinder Trespass of 1932 was when people started to fight for access to the open moorlands of the Peak District. But it was only in the 50s and 60s when it really took off as a hobby, with organisations such as the YHA and the CHA organising regular walks. And the family soon got involved, with Aunty Kathleen running a youth section for the CHA. This is a picture of the Ashton-under-Lyne YHA group in 1954. That's my auntie there. Anyway, let's get on with the walk. Speak to you in a bit. Our walk started off along the side of the Peak Forest Canal, and we timed it perfectly, just in time to see a boat going down the locks. Having just got back from Nepal and my trip to Everest Base Camp, Kathleen was keen to hear all about it.
But yeah, everybody had issues with, the altitude and stuff.
Yeah,
your pace just goes, the further you get up, your pace goes ridiculously slow. And you see, if you're trying to run to catch up with somebody, you just do a run like that for a few steps, and then for the next minute you go, trying to regulate your breathing back to normal, yeah.
The only time I've noticed that, and Brian had no sign of it at all, was the Jungfrau, which we went up on the train, and then you could walk up to a hut where we got some soup, and it's all across the snow, and I could tell then that I wasn't breathing as easily.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever been that high, I suppose. was a few years ago when they started doing up this, it's called the Wellington Wheel. There's an old wheel, and this chap said he would give us a talk. So we went down and it was when they were just starting that, and they took us down there, Julia, and it was something to do with where the horses were stabled.
I didn't know about that.
And so this is where the mill was, and that was the entrance. It shows, you can see on the floor which was the entrance to the mill. Anyway, this chap went on and on. We were all there was nowhere to sit, so we'd had enough, but he was quite interesting really. But it's all been developed since. We can either go back that way, or we can go back through that farm there. Did you ever go to Liverpool?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
I'm taking you this way.
When we were in about 15, and the film Rambo had come out, which was in 18.
Yes.
Some of us went from the campsite into Marple to the cinema to watch Rambo.
Did you? Elaine goes to that cinema quite often now. Well, it's not often, but regularly.
It's like a traditional. Is it still the same old?
Yes, yes, and they go to the Italian restaurant across the road. So I'm thinking perhaps we'll go up to Liverpool first and come back the other way, Strawberry Hill. Because going up that rough track is a bit easier for me than coming down.
I remember some freezing nights in Linnetclough in the old style scout tents.
Yeah, well, I
with our
slept
rubbish
a night
sleeping
there.
bags.
I had a night in a tent there because we had a guide event there, and I was a guider, and we all stayed.
Did we come to one? Do you remember that? Where was that? Where would have that been? I don't know where that had been. It might have been here, but I remember coming to one of your camps.
Oh, that would be a summer camp.
I decided to ask Kathleen a bit about the history of their walking group.
Yeah, about this group.
We started 28 years ago,
Yeah.
this August, and we had one walk a month. We now have 2 walks every Thursday, short walk and a long walk. And the longer walks are now, instead of being 12 to 14 miles, the most we do now is about 9. Is it 9, Julia?
Oh, usually more sometimes.
And how old's your oldest member, and how old's your youngest member?
Our oldest member is 90, and our youngest is late 60s, perhaps.
Does Elaine not count as a member then?
Oh, we go. Elaine comes in during holidays sometimes.
Because she's not an official member.
And we have quite a few meals out as well. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I've got 7 scrapbooks full of photographs from 1995.
Was that the year it started?
Yeah.
So what age would you have been when you started the group then?
Well, I'd just retired, so I was 57, 56, 57. It was the year Elaine got married.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll wait till I'm that age to start my own walking group.
Yeah. Well, you're nearly at my retirement age.
Now, regular viewers of the channel will be familiar with the music at the start of the videos, and we're lucky today because we've got the person who wrote it. Hello, this is my brother Andrew, sometimes known as Jeff Japers, and he made up the theme tune for us. So if he's got the ukulele with him, we might have a live rendition of it sometime this weekend. Yeah. I'll have to practice it first. And there's another song I wanted you to learn on the uke so I could sing along, and that's the Manchester Rambler. So oh yeah, we'll maybe try and do that as well. I'm not sure I do remember it. I mean, I know what came here, but I'm not sure I remember what it looked like. Is it turrets and stuff up there? And
Did Jack have the Chief Scout or something award? Jack got something. I can't remember what it was.
quite a few, didn't
No,
he?
but there was a specific
I bet he
one.
wasn't presented his by John Stalker though, was he?
I watched that. I came to watch that.
Right.
I've got a photograph of it if you want to see it.
I don't know, we have to go.
You gave that to me, didn't you?
Yeah,
And of him singing the Old South for me
yeah.
from the army. He went in a booth and recorded himself singing. And for Kathleen it says, doesn't it? And this is for Kathleen. I was only about 3. And he sang, there was no farmer who had no sackcloth. He used to do that for you when you were little.
And you know I love you a lot. Now just for Kathleen, I'm going to sing the old style, okay? There was an old farmer, he had an old cow. Bounce, bounce, idly down. Susanna's a funny poor man. Bounce, bounce, idly down. Susanna's a funny poor man. Sing awfully along. Susanna's a funny poor man. Bounce, bounce, idly down. Susanna's a funny poor man.
There was an old farmer who had an old cow.
Oh, well done, you can do it. I'm surprised.
Mine's
you-
a little bit different. I don't do the whistle. I do. What do I do instead?
Oh, very good.
That must be hard with the timing to fit that into the song, is it?
So did you do much entertaining on the slopes of Everest?
I brought
I know
my
you took your...
only when we got to the base camp. I did 5 bowls at base
I
camp.
saw that.
Yeah,
You should do that for us later.
I haven't got them with me.
Oh!
It's
Oh,
only-
we'll find an apple and an orange and a...
yeah, have you got something I can juggle? Because there's too much weight to bring in my bag.
Well,
I only had hand luggage.
Yeah.
I thought you'd have brought your unicycle.
That's what Jack's planning to do, just take hand luggage to Thailand.
Really?
Time to hear a bit more about the family hiking history from Kathleen.
Well, my dad first took me over Kinder when I was 13, right? And there was snow, and the downfall was frozen into icicles, and we climbed down behind the icicles,
Wow.
and he had just got a camera that took slides, and I've still got 1 or 2 slides from that day.
Oh, we'll have to see them.
And then the nightmare trip we had over Kinder was when your dad was leading. He was about 18 and I was about 23, something like that. And it was a gorgeous blue skies. We started from the Grouse, so we came out at the top of Williams Clough. And then as we climbed up Mill Hill, I think it's called, the weather just changed and we were in a sort of a blizzard, and it got so bad we got to the downfall, we couldn't turn right because it was just too strong, the wind.
Right.
So we turned left and somehow found our way to the Snake Pass and ended up on a snowplough back to Glossop from the Snake Inn. And in the meantime, my dad had got worried. I think Jeff might have been a bit younger than that, and he decided to come to meet us.
Right.
So he parked at Hayfield and tried to go up towards like Edale Cross,
Yeah.
but up the slope, and he got in difficulty.
No.
And
He had to be rescued.
And we hadn't gone that way anyway. 2 lads from Manchester University helped him down back to his car,
Wow.
and he took them home and said to my mum, get these lads a meal, they've saved my life. He'd really been in enough trouble. Might have been the start of his heart. Anyway, they ended up coming to our CHA, and one of them married one of our walking group. They went to live in Canada. They had a daughter who got her Queen's Guide, and they kept in touch with my mum and dad until they died, and that all started on Kinder.
And did Grandma and Granddad always walk? Did you always walk as kids?
Well, my dad was away for 6 years, from me being 2 to 8, and the first thing he did, his leave that they got, demob leave, he went youth hosteling on his own. So, but he and my mum had joined Ashton CHA first with Aunty Ethel, and they took my dad when my mum started going out and dance. She took him to the Rambling Club, you see. But I don't know whether he was busy playing cricket, you see, and football and everything. But he obviously liked walking, to use his demob leave to do that. And then when I was 14 and your dad was 9, he said, I think you're ready for a youth hosteling holiday. So we had a week at the normal CHA guest house in Towin, and then we sent all our luggage back and just had rucksacks, got the train to Brecon, and our first youth hostel was Brecon. Your dad was 9, and he said they've forgotten to put the tablecloths on. And then his job, you were always given a job, was filling the marmalade pots up. I always
did they still do jobs in youth hostels?
I don't think at all. I haven't been for some time. But when we went with your dad, a group, to Hartington, we didn't do jobs. But then we went to Crickhowl. Then I'll just say quickly then, we went to Crickhowl. We sailed Chepstow, sailed across the Bristol Channel. This is when I was 14 and your dad was 9. We then stayed at near Lynmouth, but 5 miles up the river at the youth hostel. And the warden said to my dad, the river's so low, I've hung all my fishing rods up on the wall, and showed us these fishing rods. The following week we got home, and it was the Lynmouth floods, which, have you heard of them? There are books about them. Lynmouth, the town on the coast, was just devastated with these floods. And I always think of that, and I think it was 52 or something like that. Well, if I was 14, that's right. So that was our first youth hosteling holiday. Then we got the train back.
We just kept going from then.
So then, then I started a youth section at the CHA for younger people, and we used to do a lot of youth hosteling with them. And I used to take school parties, youth hosteling, when I was teaching. Oh, it's in the blood, I think.
I think so.
I think my dad used to say his dad used to take him on walks, but whether they were
big walks,
in hiking boots, but he obviously liked the country, I think.
I mean, it was around that in the 30s. It was the Kinder Trespass, wasn't it?
32. Yes, we passed the sign. You'll see the signs on Saturday. We saw the signs, didn't we?
Marple Bridge car park.
Yes, that's where the main sign is.
1933 it was. And then there's another one as you turn off to go up to the shooting cabin.
Yes, that shooting cabin, then I call it gamekeepers. You'll pass that on
Saturday. Isn't it? And the shooting cabin,
Yeah, I think I'm definitely, for the 100th anniversary, I'll definitely be coming over for that. So when's that now?
That?
So 10 years.
Oh, I won't be with
you might.
I'll be 105.
Well, you'll be still.
No, you won't. 10 years. I don't know.
95. I'll be 95.
Oh, you'll be grand.
I'll be 95.
Still be leading the walk.
Well, if you're still about, I'll bring you.
David's coming over when it's the 100th anniversary of the Kinder Trespass.
Okay. I'll just do that with you then.
Yeah.
So Elaine, don't forget to invite Elaine.
Yeah.
She'll only be 60, in her mid-60s.
What you need, isn't it?
We're quite depressed now.
Quite often at family get-togethers, we would hear the story of how my mum wasn't expecting twins when me and my brother arrived, and today was no exception.
And my mum heard him say, "Good heavens! Good heavens!"
Really?
Because
Was he a big
he'd
baby?
been told there were two. She'd had two. They'd no idea.
Oh, right.
No, I didn't have scans then, did they?
I've forgotten already.
So he was the surprise, you see.
Yeah, well,
I've been over Snowdon, I've slept up on Crowden, I've camped by the Wainstones as well. I've sunbathed on Kinder, been burned to a cinder, and many more things I can tell. My rucksack has oft been my pillow, the heather has oft been my bed, and sooner than part from the mountains, I think I would rather be dead. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartmoreland way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday. The day was just ending and I was descending down Grindsbrook just by Upper Tor, when a voice cried, "Hey you!" in the way keepers do. He'd the worst face that ever I saw. The things that he said were unpleasant. In the teeth of his fury I said, sooner than part from the mountains, I think I would rather be dead. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartmoreland way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday. He called me a louse and said, think of the grouse. Well, I thought, but I still couldn't see why old Kinder Scout and the moors round about couldn't take both the poor grouse and me. He said, all this land is my master's. At that I stood shaking me head. No man has the right to own mountains any more than the deep ocean bed. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartmoreland way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday. I once loved a maid, a spot welder by trade.
Oh, are they?
Fair as the rowan in bloom, and the blue of her eye matched the June morning sky, and I wooed her from April till June. On the day that we should have been married, I went for a ramble instead. For sooner than part from the mountains, I think I would rather be dead. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartmoreland way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday. So I'll walk where I will, over mountain and hill, and I'll lie where the bracken is deep. I belong to the mountains, the clear running fountains, where the grey rocks rise rugged and steep. I've seen the white hare in the gullies, and the curlew fly high overhead. And sooner than part from the mountains, I think I would rather be dead. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartmoreland way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday.
What are they?
Oh, these are
Oh, dogs.
Yes.
Wonder if there's a Harvey.
Claire, look at the dates on
Clever
it.
Max.
$19.04. That's when Aunty Ethel was born.
I'm just saying about 50 photos of a heron.
Oh, was she what?
Come on.
Well, that was us at the end of our walk in Bravens Park. It was really good to meet up with our Aunty Kathleen and hear some of the old stories. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you're new to the channel, I do regular walking videos, so if you haven't done already, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.